What is up, everybody? It's Sam, and we are back with another episode of Pessimist Get Best, the podcast. And I have Sadie on the pod.
Hi.
I'm so excited to have you on this pod.
Yes.
I feel like I know your entire family listens.
Yes, this is true.
Your mom actually followed my podcast on Instagram this week.
That's because I told her I was coming on.
I love it. I had a feeling that was the case.
She was like, "What are you up to next weekend?" And I was like, "Well, Mom, you'll never guess what."
And on Mother's Day, no less.
Oh my gosh, yes. Happy Mother's Day, Mom. So that does not surprise me that she followed.
Oh my God,
I did not know that, though. Wow.
So it's so funny. And I asked James, I was like, should I follow her back? And James was like, I honestly have no idea. I was like, I think I will.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. She can say no if she wants.
No, she'll love that.
Because she specifically followed the pod, not
yes.
me.
Oh,
you know, which I'm like, no, totally.
That's so fair.
Consume the content.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I'm excited. We had a nice little breakfast.
Yes, it was great.
I love breakfast food. Are you more breakfast, lunch? What's your favorite meal of the day?
My favorite meal is probably lunch,
Okay.
I'd say. Not breakfast. We'll get into that in my good, bad, ugly. I know I gave you a little preface beforehand, but yeah, breakfast is not my favorite
No,
of
that
the
makes
day,
sense.
I don't think. But I don't really know the difference between lunch and dinner either. Like, they're kind of interchangeable.
For me,
food-wise,
lunch is like
right?
exclusive. When I think lunch, I think sandwich. I don't know why.
Yeah, that's true.
Or leftovers.
Yeah, but that's so true. So maybe dinner.
Right. Like, I feel like every time I'm eating lunch, it's just my dinner from last night.
Yeah, that's
Totally.
a lot of what I do. But
Do you meal
I
prep?
enjoy. I do kind of. I guess
Yeah.
I kind of do. Like, I think of a couple meals that I want throughout
Yeah.
the week and make it, but then I also have like stuff to eat throughout the week as well. So like, I'll make
Yeah.
a salad for lunch if I don't want to eat like the stuff that I meal prepped, or like I'll make a quesadilla or pizza, or like I kind of
Yeah.
interchange things throughout, but then I have
Uh-huh.
like a couple main meals that I can eat all week long. Just because sometimes I'm like, I don't know what I want to eat
Yeah.
when I'm hungry. So if I have something made, then I'm like, okay, I guess I'll just have that because
For
I
some
need
reason,
to eat.
if I meal prep, I feel like I never want the food.
Yeah.
Like, I'm always like, well, I made this, but now I just would prefer to order something.
I know. It's really hard. But sometimes I get in like, I recently made this pasta dish and I like made it 3 weeks in a row because I was so obsessed with it. And now I'm kind of like, okay, I don't really
Yeah.
need this anymore.
No, I'm the same, where we'll like hyperfixate a little bit on like a certain meal, and then I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, and now I'm incredibly sick of it. I never want to have it again.
Yes, exactly. And like usually at the end of my week that I have something, I'm like, yeah, I don't need to make that for a while again because
Yeah.
I've had it for like 4 meals.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, and James is one of those people who like, he will buy the same cereal at the store. Like, he gets Honey Nut Cheerios without fail, and he's fine eating that all the time. And
Yeah.
or like, even the same will go for him for like a certain snack. Like, if he's hyperfixating on like a, you know, like he'll be like, okay, well, Pringles. It's Pringles right now. I'm getting Pringles at the store for like
Yes.
5 weeks, and it's
Okay.
like I need to switch it up.
I like to switch up my snacks for sure. Like my snacks and dessert. When I go to the grocery store, I'm like, okay, I need to get a new snack for the week and a new dessert. And then I like totally,
Yeah.
I cycle through. Like I got cheddar pretzels. Have you ever had those like cheddar pretzels before?
No.
I always had them growing up and I saw them at the store and I was like, oh my gosh, I need those. So good. But then I was like, okay, now I need to try something different or like go back to a different childhood snack. Like I'll do
Totally.
Pop-Tarts as a dessert sometimes because like, oh,
Yes.
those are so fun, but I don't need them for breakfast.
Well, that's like to him too. He is exclusively the cinnamon sugar. He's very that
Pop-Tart?
Pop-Tart.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm a fruit Pop-Tart girl.
I kind of like,
I get
well,
the
I
strawberry.
usually eat them. I don't really eat Pop-Tarts that much, but I feel like for like I get them and eat them like as a dessert. So I really like the hot fudge sundae ones.
Okay, totally.
Like the really sugary sweet
Yes.
ones. I'm a big fan of those.
My mom was actually insane growing up. She would always give me and my dad the like strawberry frosted ones,
Uh-huh.
and then she would eat the strawberry unfrosted.
They make those?
Yeah, I
didn't even know
what's
that.
What's the point of a
Yeah.
Pop-Tart if no frosting?
No, that's what you're there for.
100%.
I was definitely a brown sugar cinnamon growing up.
Yeah.
Because my mom would get either strawberry or brown sugar cinnamon.
Those
and I
remind
was brown
me
sugar
of
cinnamon.
like cross country, and I think they give me a little bit of PTSD.
Oh, okay. Did you guys eat those a lot during cross country or
Yeah, I feel like
something?
it was like that, and banana was like pre-meat snack.
Okay.
Yeah,
That
it
makes
reminds me of
sense.
like being on the bus and trying to get into the zone.
Did you ever find the zone?
Every once in a while, I like ran a couple races on varsity, but I just don't think I ever brought myself to care enough about it.
Yeah.
I'm not a competitive person.
Yeah.
I think it's because I'm an only child. Like, I didn't have to fight for attention from my parents.
That's fair. I think I'm not very competitive either, but I
Yeah.
think it's because I'm a youngest child.
Yeah,
Because I'm
totally.
like, I just can't even afford to care because
Yeah.
I'm going to lose. So like, I don't even care.
No, and so I've just like, and that's honestly why I was never part of a team sport,
Mm-hmm.
and why running kind of made sense, because it's like
Yes.
at the end of the day, running is just for you.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, maybe you're trying to beat the people around you, but like it's also like personal PRs or whatever.
Yeah. That's how I was with swimming too, because I swam, as you know, growing up.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was very much just like for me.
Yeah.
And I was like so unserious about it. I mean, there was times where I was like a little bit more competitive with it, but for the most
Yeah.
part, I was in it for the friendships.
Did you guys swim? Were you like swimming preschool even?
Yeah. Like pre-high school.
Yeah.
Yeah. We grew up. How did we start swimming? I think it was like my sister did, and
Yeah.
then my brother did, and then I
Well,
just
feel
like
swim
naturally
team kids
did.
were so like you did that from like a young age.
Yes, I started when I was like 5.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was like doing it all growing up, and
Yeah.
I just kind of got into it. I think because my sister and brother did.
Yeah, no, that's classic. I know. Well, in swimming, I was always so like impressed by you guys because you were like morning, nights. Like I just feel like it took up your whole life.
It was insane. I like actually can't believe I did it. Looking back, I lost interest a lot. Like my sophomore year, I'd say.
Yeah.
I did not get along with our high school swim coach very well.
Okay, totally. That'll do it.
Yeah, it really did it for me. So I really turned it into like by the time I was a junior and a senior, I just like did not really care anymore. And it was completely for fun, which the coaches did not really love that, I
Yeah.
don't think, especially because like I was
Yeah.
like not terrible when I was at the beginning of high school. And then I
Yeah.
like slowly progressed down to JV from varsity.
No, right. I kind of did
'Cause I
the
was like, I don't really
same.
care anymore.
Yeah. That was similar for me too.
I really made like the JV swim meet like a huge deal, and like the varsity people, maybe we can cut this. The varsity people were not that happy that I like
Totally.
made it such a big deal, and I was
Yeah.
like, well, I'm having fun about
Yes,
it. So that's all that
absolutely. No, we well, because I had a cross country was so big. There were so many girls on the
Yes.
cross country team, and a lot of my friends didn't really also take it super seriously. It was just kind of like something to do.
Yeah.
And then literally all of my friends got kicked off of the cross country team. Girls,
Wait.
shout out.
Why?
That was just because they were like always dicking around at practice, like weren't taking it seriously essentially, and like
They got kicked off the team? Oh my God.
I can't remember whose decision that was, if it was like the captains or if it was actually the coaches. I like genuinely can't remember. But yeah, shout out to my girls. Literally, they all got kicked off. And then I was like, well, fuck, this is really unfun for me now.
It was just you then?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I don't even know if I knew that happened.
Yeah.
I was not checked into the cross country world, I guess.
It was so funny. I can't remember now if that was, I mean, it must have been senior year. But yeah, fucking hilarious. And then I was like, well, okay, girls, thanks a lot.
Oh my gosh.
But then I was
Wow.
like, I tried a little bit, you know, so I feel like I didn't get kicked off. Because
Yeah.
sometimes I took it seriously.
Yeah, you were focusing before
Yeah.
the meets with your Pop-Tart.
Literally. Yeah, trying to find that zone.
Yeah.
It was actually funny at brunch yesterday with our friends who we have made here who don't like know us, our high school selves.
Yes.
We're kind of asking those questions of like, yeah, like what extracurriculars did you all do in high school? Like, and it is so
Yeah.
funny, like the like what that says about you and like,
Yeah.
you know.
No, it definitely does. I feel like when I was a senior, I was just doing the most random stuff. Like, you know,
Oh, for
most
sure.
people, like you have such a light schedule your senior year. Like you
Yeah.
could take a ton of study halls.
I like literally had off of school after lunch. Like I didn't have class.
That's like the normal route that people take. I just took a ton of just like stupid classes because I was like, my friends are at school. I
Yeah.
want to be here because like, what am I going to go home and like not be with my
no,
friends?
totally.
So I took like social dance. I took human relations.
Social dance
I
was
took like
major.
multiple art classes. So did you take social
I
dance?
didn't, but a bunch of my friends did, and I went to the recital at the end of the.
Yeah. I invited my mom. My mom came to my recital.
I love that. No,
It was so
so
good.
fun to watch. Yeah.
Yeah, we did the Thriller. I used to know the Thriller dance. It was great.
Yes.
I love social dance. Oh, I took Pro Start Chef 1. That was kind of like my niche one.
Oh, I didn't even know that was an option.
I was going to say most people don't know about that class.
crazy.
But I ended up joining the Pro Start team.
No way.
So I had like stayed after school for like a full semester with a few of my friends, and we would like cook. We were there until like 9 p.m. Like we
Oh my
were
God, that's
cooking,
hilarious.
and the teacher was crazy.
Where are you even doing that?
It's like in the cooking rooms. I don't know,
There
the
are
kitchens.
cooking rooms?
I guess some might call them kitchens.
Okay. Is
But-
it like where they're making our lunches, or is it somewhere else?
It's not to get too specific here on the pod, but it was like in the B wing.
Okay.
And like by all the Spanish rooms.
Oh,
like kind of in the back
interesting.
corner.
Oh
There
my
was
gosh,
like
that was
cooking.
not even on my radar.
Yeah, no. I don't think it was a very popular class.
Crazy.
Well, I also partly took it because my friends were like, oh, we should all take a class that we know we can get into together.
Yeah.
And we're like, what does no one take? And we're like, Pro Start Chef 1.
That is so crazy. That's fun. I
It was
should have thought to
super
do things
fun.
like that.
And afterwards I had anatomy, and like we would come to anatomy with our leftovers, and I like came to anatomy with like full cakes or like
Totally.
plates of like, I don't even know, stir-fried food, and then be like, everyone eat. And like there was multiple of my friends who were in the class that went to anatomy, so we would share our food.
Oh,
it was
that's
just like
awesome.
the weirdest class, but it was so much fun. We
That's
loved
why
it.
senior year is honestly hilarious in high school, because it's just like you're so checked out already,
Yeah.
and like everything is for the bit.
Oh my gosh, exactly.
Yeah.
That is how I was living my life for
100%.
sure.
I remember specifically because I had my schedule where I was done after lunch.
Yeah.
I said no to a specific field trip. It was that English field trip senior year where they take you down to like the UW-Madison library. I don't even remember what you do there. I think you learn how to kind of like use and
I didn't
like search
do
through the
that.
library system. You didn't have to do that?
No. Miss
I like,
Guzzi.
yeah, and she was my teacher.
Miss Guzzi and I had a special relationship.
I think Miss Guzzi hated me after this day, which I do kind of feel bad about, because I would not say that I am normally a sassy student. Like, that's not really my energy. I respect authority, and like, I was a good girl, but there was this specific day and I didn't have class, and my English class was in the morning, but this field trip was like in the afternoon. And I was like, I'm not going to go because I don't have school. And so I'm opting out. And so I didn't sign the permission slip. And then I went downtown with my friend Jaden, shout out, and we went to like lay out on the docks by the Union. And they went to Helen C. White. And I think it was Zoe who ratted me out, and she was like, wait, that's
You're
Sam.
dropping here a lot.
Yeah. And she was like, that's Sam. And like Miss Guzzi fully was like so mad. And, and the next day when I walked in the classroom, she was like, you actually don't get to come to class today. You're going to go write a paper on why you thought it was okay to go to like lie out on the docks instead of coming on my field trip. So I like marched my little ass down to the library and wrote like the sassiest paper ever. I was like, I didn't need to go to the field trip. I don't feel bad about it. I didn't have class after, noon or whatever. And I like wrote this whole thing and I gave it to her, and then I just like left for the day. I was like, I'm done.
Oh my God.
I gave her my paper, and I specifically remember leaving school, and James was just arriving, late as can be. And I was like fuming, like steam blowing out of my ears. And he was like, are you okay? And I was like, no.
What did she say about the paper?
Well, so then the next morning I came in and she actually was like, I'm sorry, I didn't realize that you didn't have school. Like, it is all good. And we like dusted it off and we were all set. But
I love that. Miss Guzzi actually caught me cheating one time.
No way.
Well, it was like this test that on, I don't even know what, Hamlet or something. And I was just like, it was me and my friend Marcella on this in the back of the classroom, and our friend David would help us out sometimes. So he wrote this answer that apparently was like so far like off what the right answer was that it was kind of weird. Sure. And then the fact that me and Marcella had that answer too, Miss Guzzi was like, can I see you three in the hallway real quick? This is a new story for my mom if she's listening still. It all was fine. Miss Guzzi loved me. So we went into the hallway and she's like, so you guys all put this answer, and this is like the most random thing I've ever heard. Like, I know that you guys were all looking at each other's paper, and it was like, obviously me and Marcella were looking at David, but anyway, she's like, you know what, like just walk back in there and act really sad, and then we'll just call it a day. So we just she's like, just hang your head low and just walk in, and we're like, okay. Because all our friends were in that, I mean, all our friends are in all your classes, kind of, but there was people in there and they knew that we had like cheated or whatever, or like had like obviously if we're getting called into the hallway, so we just had to walk in with our heads low. And my friends were like, what happened? And I was like, literally nothing.
Yeah. No,
she said act sad.
Yeah, 100%. I remember specifically James and I think Joe would mow Miss Guzzi's lawn. And she had, I want to say, a bunch of bees.
Oh, yeah. This one surprised me.
And so she would gift them, like, in exchange for mowing her lawn, they would get, like, honey and, like, chapstick.
Wait, that's so funny.
She was an eccentric lady, that Miss Guzzi.
Yeah, she didn't have a microwave. I tried to get her a microwave that I found in a locker room. upon learning, she was like, yeah, I don't use a microwave. And I was like, what? I was
No,
like, there's
that's
actually
crazy.
a microwave in the women's locker room right now. I'm going to go get it for you. And she's like, okay. So I like went there and got it and we plugged it in and it like sparked and then it didn't work anymore. I was like, Miss Guzzi, I tried to hook you up, but this is the best I
It
got.
wasn't meant to be.
She didn't even want it anyway,
Right.
but whatever.
No, I feel like that's so senior year. I actually remember specifically also, this came up recently amongst my friends. Me, Ruth, and Sophia were all in AP English junior year together.
Oh, yeah.
And we had Miss Fitz, and there was a specific test where she let us all like peer grade each other.
Oh, yeah.
And so
The
we all
best.
traded. And so, you know, obviously, like I'm fixing Sophia's or who it must have been. I must have had Ruth's. Ruth had Sophia's, and Sophia I think had mine. And like I'm fixing Ruth's answers, whatever. Sophia did the same for me. Ruth did not do it for Sophia. And that's still, they have some beef over that still to this day, for sure.
I'm so done. She's like, what? It was bad.
Yeah, literally. So fucking funny. High school is just so stupid. And I cared so much, you know, like I really wanted to get good grades, which I mean, obviously that, you know, did matter for getting into school, but like.
Yeah. I got pretty good at just like getting the best worst grade that you can get. Like if I was going to get an A, I got 91s across the board. Like I was not high level
I was
achieving.
very much an A-B student.
Yeah.
Heavy on the B. I remember specifically I was super bad at math.
Uh-huh.
And I remember I got my first C when I took geometry.
Oh, okay.
And that's also around the time that must have been like sophomore, junior year. It's probably sophomore year. And then I was like, you know, everyone's driving and stuff. And I was like, oh, and I can skip school. And so I kind of stopped going to geometry class.
Oh my God.
And I would go to McDonald's instead. And I
Classic.
was like, this is a bad habit to get in because I don't have to do the class that I don't like. But then by the time exams roll around, I don't know anything.
Yes. And that one's a tough one, like with the
Oh
proofs
my
and
God.
everything. Like you can't really fake that.
No.
Or like
I was
peek over
so
grades.
bad. Never was a math girl. Still, but I always was kind of like, well, I'm always going to have a calculator.
Yeah, it's so true. Like how much are you using that now? Never.
Right, never. I don't know. I can't even, but it is so bad actually. I don't even calculate tip by myself. Like I literally pull out the calculator and James is like, Samantha.
I know people of that kind.
Yeah. It's just not the way my brain works.
I'm like, you just move the decimal, but you know what? Use the calculator if you can or if you need to.
And it's always there.
It's there for a reason.
like my little smartphone.
Yes.
Okay, well, I know that you cook quite a bit. How do you feel about going to the grocery store? Because I have a tumultuous relationship with the grocery store.
Okay. That's a good question. I kind of love a grocery store.
Okay, see, I feel like a lot of people who like to cook really do love to go to the store.
Yes. I think it depends on the situation of what I'm grocery shopping for. But for the most part, if I'm like not in a rush, I like love to like go and walk around and like look at all the prices and like see the new treats. And my sister and I love to go to the grocery store together, like when we visit.
Cute. I love that.
So there's this like one grocery store when we visit our family in like the Pittsburgh area that we love to go to together. And like I'll FaceTime her when I'm there and she's not in town.
That was so cute.
So I just love to like explore and like look at all the fun things. But on a regular basis, like a lot of times I go in there with a list and I like can pull it really quick and then get out. I love Aldi. That's like my all-time number one.
Totally.
Yeah.
Sophia's family initially introduced me to Aldi back in Madison.
Yeah.
They were a big Aldi family. And like, I don't know if it's still like this, but it was like you would like pay like you would put in a quarter and get a crate, like do the whole thing.
Yes. Yeah.
Felt very European.
Yes. I have the quarter holder on my keys.
Oh, that's awesome.
I am dedicated.
Wait, that's so funny. No, Aldi is a good vibe. We definitely have some over by us. I haven't really been.
That's one of the reasons I kept my car for so long living here.
Yeah, totally.
Before I sold it, I would only use it to go to the grocery store, and I was like, I'm literally paying to upkeep a car to drive 2 miles to Aldi. I don't think I need to keep this one up anymore. But
because where do you shop?
Super nice.
No,
I usually go to Jewel.
Okay.
But Jewel's tricky too. I like the hacks and stuff too.
Yeah.
Like I go on the app and I clip all the coupons and I buy the things that are on sale. Like I'm very like logistical about it.
Yes, I love that.
But it's like so annoying to do all that. I mean, I like to do it. It's work.
Yeah.
But at Aldi, you walk in and you don't have to think about anything because they have like one thing of strawberries. Like it's not like you can get the
Totally.
California or the Florida or the organic or the like.
Yeah.
You just can get the one thing and then you're out of there. So I love the simplicity. I can get through that store in like 15 minutes. It's so
that's
nice.
so nice. Because for me, grocery stores are a get out experience. I feel overstimulated at the grocery store, and I feel like they're the illusion. There's the illusion of choice.
Yes,
and I'm like, this is overwhelming.
Well, it's pretty. I always just like go for the cheapest thing, probably.
Totally.
So I'm like, there's not really a ton of choice. I'm just looking at the prices to see what's the cheapest.
Yeah,
but it's still like a lot to sift through at like a big store like
100%.
that. I mean, Trader Joe's is kind of the same way too. Like you kind of just get what they have, which also makes it pretty easy to shop there because you're like, well, this is the only version of this that they supply. So
I know. I wish we had a Trader Joe's closer to us. Although Trader Joe's is one of those grocery stores where I almost feel like I need to get dressed up to go inside. Like I'm like I like need to put on my Sunday best.
Yes, it's definitely. I feel like it's a thing, but people are like, when you go to grocery store or to Trader Joe's, they're like, "What are you doing for today?" And it's
Literally.
like, "This is my activity. Like
Everyone's
coming to this store
Yeah.
is like my big." outing
this
for
was
the
to-do.
day.
Yeah, totally.
I'm gonna go home and unload the groceries. That's what else I'm gonna do.
Well, because when we first moved here, Logan has kind of like a little bit of a grocery store desert.
Yeah, that's kind of how it is around me too.
Yeah,
like there's not even really a market or anything. I was like, what's the closest produce? I was like, oh, I did notice that they have bananas at the gas station across the street.
Right.
I'm not going to grocery shop at a gas station.
I know.
So yeah, same about me.
When we first moved here, we went to this. Have you ever been inside any of the food smarts?
No.
Don't go.
What is that?
It's like a 24-hour. It is kind of giving convenience store more than grocery store.
Okay.
Half of it is truly liquor. Like it has the liquor store section is like half of the store.
Wait, are they like all over the city?
I don't know how many there are, but I know that there are multiple. There's probably like 3 or 4.
Okay.
So I don't think it's a big chain. But that's like the closest grocery store to us, technically within walking distance from our house.
Okay.
At least when we first moved here, that was like the first one that would pop up that we saw. And I specifically remember going there and being like, this cannot be my reality. Like this cannot be where I'm forced to shop. And like the vibes in there
we're drinking dinner, I guess, because there's nothing else but alcohol.
No, literally. And like none of their produce was not like in a package. You know what I mean? Like it was all plastic wrapped and like the vibes were just really bad. And I was like, this can't be. This cannot be thrust upon us in this way. But we ended up, one of my coworkers turned us on to, it's called Cermak.
Okay. I don't know what that is either.
And there are 2 kinds. There's Cermak Fresh Produce, which is what we go to. And then there's like a Cermak Market.
Okay.
Cermak Fresh Produce is, the vibes in there are electric for a grocery store. The aisles are massive.
Okay.
Nobody's ever there. Like, I don't know how they're managing to stay in business. If they're laundering money or if something else is going on. But it's kind of off the beaten path. It's like honestly like surrounded by warehouses.
Oh, okay.
So it's like a little bit northwest.
Gotcha.
And they're always playing like Latinx jams. They have mounds of beautiful produce, like mounds.
Oh
it's
my gosh.
Beautiful, stunning rainbow over there.
Wait, I love that.
Yeah,
I want to check this out.
Good.
Is it hard to get to? Could I get there without a car?
Super convenient, probably.
Dang, okay.
I'm thinking maybe for you would be like definitely a bus.
Worth a trip though. It sounds like
it's awesome in there, and the prices it's pretty like reasonable, all things considered.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how they do it, and they have like lots of like nice cuts of meat, and just like their deli section is good.
What's the other one you said?
So
it's like sister store.
There's Cermak Market and Cermak Fresh Produce. We go to Fresh Produce.
Okay.
Which
Noted.
Of course. The mounds of produce.
Fresh produce, I'll remember it.
But we actually signed up for a CSA service, and that has been such a great way to get produce.
Is it hard to like get through things, or it's kind of like Chopped, like we were talking about earlier?
Yeah, honestly.
Like figure out what you want to make with the produce.
Which has been like a fun challenge because I'm also getting things like, especially winter, I was getting all of these root vegetables that I was like, I would never buy this at the store.
Yeah.
So I just wouldn't even think to. Like, it's not something that's on my radar. Like, we were getting like watermelon radishes. I'm like, I didn't even know that was an option.
I had no idea.
Yeah. And so that was like interesting to kind of figure out how to weave some of those into recipes.
How much were you weaving things in, or how much was James?
It was all James. Well, it was funny too. Sometimes I would, okay, I know ChatGPT is a tumultuous. People have lots of opinions, and I totally understand why.
You're like, I get it.
Yeah. But it is kind of useful when you have a bunch of like random
for recipe prepping
and like
stuff.
you can kind of put everything in and just be like, help.
Yeah.
And it'll spit something out.
Help me, please.
Yeah. So we did that a couple times, but otherwise, like, we have a couple of like go-to cookbooks we'll use, and sometimes
love that
you can like almost base it based off a specific item. But
yeah.
we get the delivery every other week.
Okay.
And I feel like that has been relatively manageable.
Okay.
The only thing we never ever get through without fail is our mushrooms.
Yeah, those I feel like
they give you way too many.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking like you can't really do you freeze mushrooms that much? Like, can you throw those in the freezer?
I don't know if you can.
I've never actually done. Well, I feel like maybe I have. Maybe you can freeze them.
Okay, that's a good idea.
But I don't really know.
Yeah.
Dolphins.
I know, it always does this to me.
I thought it stopped recording.
And so, but that's been like a good amount because you can get it every week, I think, which I think would be too much.
Yeah.
We don't cook that often. So, but I really like it. We do a meat one and a produce one.
Do they have do they give you meat that you're familiar with, or is that also like you're getting some surprises too?
It comes with a couple surprises. Like almost always we actually sent John home with a bunch of chicken because we had a little bit too much.
Okay.
So yeah, he cooked it right up. He was more than willing to take it off our hands.
I'm sure he was. Yeah. That's not surprising at all.
Because usually we'll get chicken and ground beef almost every time without fail.
Okay.
Sometimes we'll get like a type of sausage, and then they usually give you at least always one kind of like less favorable cut.
Okay.
Like it'll be usually like something you would want to put in a stew, or like something that just maybe going to be a little more tough.
Oh, okay.
Like a stir fry.
Wow.
Yeah.
You guys are really diving into your
I know.
I love.
Well, and we're just I'm like trying to find ways to like do it where it is at least semi-sustainable.
Yeah.
And, like, which is so hard, but
no, you're doing great. It sounds like you're doing more than me.
Well, and we compost through them too.
Oh,
so it's been like a whole and everything gets dropped off and picked up, so it's very it's pretty easy.
Okay, interesting. I didn't even know. I guess you have to sign up for composting in the city or something.
I know. I don't get why it's not something that they just do.
Yeah,
like recycling.
I feel like
some cities do that.
Yeah, some cities definitely do.
Mm-hmm. But this works. I think we pay like $20 a month. It's not bad.
Oh, nice. Yeah. That's really good.
But the produce DSA that we do actually has also like a market you can shop if you want more stuff, and they like are connected to some like I don't know if you ever remember Underground Butcher from Madison.
Oh yeah.
Like you can get like stuff from them.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
And like local breweries and stuff.
Oh, that's super fun.
Yeah.
And then you just like add it to your box or something. Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Which is really cool.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look into this.
Yeah. I get a referral code, so I'll send it to you.
Okay, I love.
But no, I always think it's interesting. People who do love to cook, I feel like some people really love going to the grocery store.
Yeah, I think it's fun.
Yeah.
I do get entertainment out of it.
How do you feel about general errands?
I don't really run errands that much, I feel like. I go to the grocery store, but I don't really shop a ton.
Yeah.
Like I'll go thrifting sometimes, but that to me, that's like not an errand. That's just like a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
I don't really order things that much, so it's not like I have like a ton of returns to do.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I'm not a big shopper, I guess.
No, that's fair. I feel like for
what
me,
kind of errands are you running?
Big one. Well, I tried my hardest to avoid errands. I hate errands.
Okay.
Like if we have to do something, if we have to pick anything up, or if like something's broken in the house, we need to fix it.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, James, you do that. I would much rather like stay and clean or like do something within the home.
Okay. More
maybe
domestic.
Also because I don't like to drive.
Yeah, that's fair.
So it always just seems like such a hassle to leave the house.
Yeah. I mean, maybe that's why I don't run errands either, because I'm like, I'm not going to take the bus to go do this thing.
No,
like,
right.
I just don't need to do it.
100%. Do you have one of those? I was thinking about getting one. We do mostly drive when we go to the store, but I feel like every once in a while, if I'm just running, I would love to have one of those little carts.
A cart? No, but I want one.
Yeah.
I asked my mom for one for my birthday, so maybe I'll get one.
Love.
Or I think I at least mentioned it. I don't know if she'll actually get it for me. I also asked for a yoga bag that I can put over my back because I'm on my biking journey and I want to like
totally
put it on my back. And she was like,
That's so
oh, you
city
can't
girl.
ask for anything anymore. Like, you're going to have to buy that. I got you stuff. And I'm like, I didn't ask for anything.
Yeah,
What
definitely.
okay, I'll get it myself. Don't worry.
She's on her own agenda.
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
So can't wait to see.
No, that's fun. What
I
yoga
wanna
studio do you go to?
I kind of bop around. I do ClassPass.
Okay, nice.
So
yeah.
I don't have, where I live, not a ton of grocery stores. It's going to sound like I live in the middle of nowhere. I don't. But not a ton of grocery stores, not a ton of like studios either.
Yeah.
So I feel like with ClassPass, I can go, like I can pick and choose, like, oh, this is a good time on this day. I'll
Sure.
go there.
So
and
true.
then like, oh, I'm going to be grocery shopping. I'll like stop on the way or like do it on the way home or something. So I bop around. I really do like Zen Yoga Garage. It's
Okay.
in like kind of in between Wicker and Logan, I'd say.
Yeah.
I don't know where that technically is. But that one has like 4 different studios and they have classes like after work pretty much on every 15-minute mark. Like you can do 4:30, 4:45, 5:30.
Oh, that's so nice.
Which is so nice because I feel like so many studios, it's like you can do a 4:30 class or a 7 o'clock
Yeah.
class. And I'm like, what about in between? Like,
totally.
I need some options. So like that one, it has so many options, which I really like.
That's so good to know.
Yeah.
I haven't really explored a ton around here. I'm still paying for I bought like the Dragonfly, like D-Fly on demand
Yes.
when they were like in their COVID era, and I was like, I want to support them.
Yeah.
And I do need to work out. So, and we were still, of course, living in Madison at the time. And I've still been paying for it ever since. So, like,
Yeah.
I'll like do yoga at my house, but it's not exactly the same.
Yeah, no, it's not. Well, I've like done yoga at my house a couple times, but when I lay my yoga mat down, I'm like, there's cat hair everywhere.
Oh, 100%. And something about when I put out the yoga mat, my cats like immediately get on it and like press their bellies to it as quickly as they can. I'm like, what is going on?
That is so bizarre.
I
I usually
know.
walk them out, so I don't know.
Smart.
I haven't experimented with that.
Yeah. Well, and then like I have a pretty shitty yoga mat that I think I got at like TJ Maxx.
Oh, yeah.
And they have almost destroyed it.
Oh, I bet they
Lots of holes.
love to scratch it and bite at it.
I think
for
it's like the
sure.
perfect texture. James has one of those kind of like double layered, like pretty thick, like legit yoga mats.
Yeah.
And they seem to leave his alone. So I need to invest.
Yeah. Well, you can, once you start doing yoga more, maybe you
Yeah.
can invest.
100%. I know. Well, and I just like something about moving here. I've been so lazy about finding those kinds of things. Like my spot, like my little yoga studio and like I go on runs here. Sometimes I honestly have been lazy about that too.
Yeah.
And even like my routes, like I had so many routes in Madison.
Yeah.
And like I have like 2 here.
I feel
and I
like
stick to them.
well, do you work from home?
Yeah.
I feel like working from home, I like am more inclined to get out and like do things after work or like want to get out of the house, not necessarily do things, but like
because you kind of have to
go
force
to a
yourself.
class. Like I wouldn't. Yeah, it's hard to like stay at home and like do yoga at my house. I'm like, I kind of want to go somewhere and do something
No, I
because
totally
I've been
understand
sitting in
that.
my room all day.
Yeah.
So I try to force myself to be able to do that. So I feel like I have some good routines out and about by where I am.
Yeah.
But it takes time.
And remind me, when's your lease up? I know you're looking.
End of July.
Okay.
So
it's sneaking up.
I know. After this, I'm going to meet my friend and like walk around Bucktown to just like
Cute.
scope out the area a little bit because
Yeah.
I'm interested. I know we chatted about this a little bit, but I'm interested in that area.
Yeah.
I'm open to anything, especially
Are you
working
looking
remote.
to move on your own?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll be my first time living alone.
That's exciting.
Yeah. I think it'll be fun.
It's definitely a good experience. Like I really only lived alone when I studied abroad. And like even that I had like my own, it was really the only time that I've had my own space. And
Yeah.
it was just like, it was so fun. You don't have to answer to anybody.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Have you ever had any like random roommates or anything like that?
I did random my freshman year of college.
Okay. Same.
But that was really that was it.
Wow. I've had so many.
Yeah, totally.
But they've all like worked out really well. It's kind of crazy.
I have had we had like friends of friends that I didn't know
Yeah.
type of thing, but it was always like somebody was connected to somebody.
Yes. Okay.
So
That's how my roommate. Hi, Kayla. She knows I'm coming on this. That's how my roommate and I are now.
Okay. How'd you find her? Like, how do you do that in a city like this?
Do you know Hannah Becker?
Oh,
high
yeah.
school shout out.
Yeah.
She's in med school at Rush.
Okay.
And my roommate is in med school at Rush. So they're classmates and friends.
Oh,
and
that works out.
I
so
just
good.
reached out to people prior to moving here. And I was just like, hey, like moving to this like Chicago soon.
Yeah.
If you know anyone who needs
Yeah.
a roommate, let me know. Otherwise, I was just gonna plan on moving in on my own.
Yeah.
And then Hannah was like, wait, actually, my friend Kayla is looking for a roommate. And I was like,
that's
cool.
so awesome.
So then she like gave her my Instagram and she's like, don't worry, I told her that you're not. Your Instagram is not you. And I was like, okay, thank you. It's a little intimidating, I think.
Totally.
So anyway, I didn't scare her away. And now we're great friends.
I love it. No, that's awesome. Yeah. I feel like my freshman year when I did random, it worked out great.
Yeah.
We like couldn't have had less in common, but shout out to Jane. She was just so easy to live with. And like, it was funny too, because that was really my first time ever having to like share anything.
Yeah. Oh, that's so crazy. Was that hard?
It definitely was. I feel like also just because it's literally such a small room.
Yeah.
Like the space is just so small.
Yeah.
That it was a big adjustment for me. She was so easy to live with that it really wasn't hard. But I remember getting to school and just being like, oh, there's nowhere I can go to be by myself on this campus.
Yeah. That's
And,
so
like,
true.
that
I kind of forget about
yeah
that feeling, but it was so true.
Yeah, like even just like, you know, you go to the dining hall, there's a million people there. Even if you're eating alone, you're surrounded and like classrooms and whatever, like every space you exist in, there's going to be people. And I was just like, this is crazy. Like I need some alone time.
Yeah.
And I was so used to it.
Yeah.
But and like, I mean, I was 20 minutes from home. So like if I really needed to escape, I could. But
did you go home often? Would you
like
say?
My freshman year, I tried not to.
Oh, that's good. I mean, if you would have, that would have been good too.
Yeah. But then after a while,
challenge.
I was like, free laundry.
Yeah.
Some leftovers from mom.
Yeah. Doesn't sound too bad.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and then like every once in a while, I'd be like, well, I kind of want to use my car.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
That makes sense.
Because I never kept one downtown, which I think I'm glad I didn't. Like that was always, parking downtown was like an extra like $250.
No way.
Some of my friends would pay for it. And I was like, I just don't think that's worth it.
No, that's not at all. Especially if your parents can like pick you up so easily.
100%.
I mean, they have to be willing to, but
yeah. Well, it's funny. I feel like they were always down, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I used to love like when I first got my license to pick up my sister from school for like dinner or something. I'd be like, I'll drive and get her.
Yeah.
It was so
glamorous.
Fun. Yeah. Like I'm driving downtown. Like it's so cool.
Totally. No, totally. And I feel like my parents also just like once I was down there, it was fun for them to come down and like go to the Union or whatever.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. But I know. Well, and now when I'm back down, Madison has changed so much.
Yes.
Like downtown really has blown up.
I know. Like even around like Memorial, it's crazy how different it's like looks and stuff and the feel of it.
Well, I can't believe that they had a Culver's. We didn't get a Culver's.
Yeah, that was like my senior year, I want to say. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but I was a Chick-fil-A girl.
Okay, totally. I mean, so good.
Yeah, I worked there.
You did? Wait, that's so funny. Zoe's younger brother used to work there. He was like one of the, because what did you guys, they had like a little thing that they had to say.
Oh. Well, what I would say is it's a great day at Chick-fil-A. My name is Sadie. How may I serve you?
Oh my God, I love it. That's so good.
It's so bad. And like, I know Chick-fil-A, not the best company ever. We always got Sundays off. Huge.
Yeah, right.
That's when I would clean the hair salon.
Yes. Okay. That works out perfect.
But whenever they like, I helped open that Chick-fil-A.
No way.
Which is so funny.
It's so crazy.
Because I've lived in Madison for most of my life, but for a couple years when we were younger, we lived in North Carolina. So from when I was like 2 to 5, we lived there. So I knew Chick-fil-A from living there because I like loved it there.
Yeah.
So then when I saw,
they have an amazing chicken sandwich.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
I was like more of a nuggets girl, but now I'm a spicy chicken sandwich girl.
Totally.
But I think it was our junior year of high school or something. They had a booth.
Okay.
At our high school, like I think it was during swim season or something, and I was like, you guys, Chick-fil-A. And like some of my friends didn't really know what it was, and I was like, it's so good, like I kind of want to work there. So I like met with the owner. Like he was like at the booth or whatever, so I was like chatting with him a little bit.
So funny.
Wrote my name down on the list for like applying to work there or whatever. Obviously eventually got the job. My mom also showed up at the high school later that day, and she saw the booth and she was like, Sadie's name was the first one on that list. I was like, that's not surprising.
That is so funny.
But I got like a whole bunch of my friends to work there. So there was like a crew
of
us who worked there. It was actually really fun. It was kind of like, I feel like people did that like with Vitens or like with
totally.
What was the Froyo place?
Oh my God, yeah, like Orange Leaf.
Yes, I was going to say Orange Theory. That's not right. Orange Leaf. Like it was one of the places that like people started working. Totally. I guess. So it was fun.
We had so many friends that would work at Orange Leaf that I feel like we would just like go there after school.
Yeah.
Like it was like,
You're like, oh,
this is where we're hanging out
you're
for the
just
next
getting
4
paid
hours.
Yeah, and you're getting paid $8 and we're getting nothing. But
there would be times that I would literally put the Hello Orange t-shirt on from one of my friends and I would pretend to work there.
No.
For no money.
No one cares.
Yeah, and I would like literally stand back there for like 45 minutes like slinging froyo. Like what?
You're like, well, because I'm just hanging out with my friends at this point.
Yeah.
Might as well just fill out the application.
Literally. It's so bizarre. I don't know how they even made any money. James and I actually went back there. This is probably also like 2 years ago at this point.
It's still open?
It's still open. It's the only froyo place because remember, so many popped up.
Yes, there was Cherry Berry, there was Menchie's.
Yes.
There was quite a few.
All the big hitters.
TCBY for a while.
That was kind of like an original.
Yeah, I feel like that was before all these other ones.
Yeah. And now I think Orange Leaf is the only one that has any staying power.
And it's still in that same spot?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, weird.
Right by the Fleet Feet. And James and I went, and it was completely desolate in there.
Yeah.
Not a soul.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I can't say I'm surprised.
And we like filled up our thing, whatever, got all of our toppings. And
Yeah.
then we got to the front, and she was like, she kind of just like tapped this little sign, and we paid via Venmo. And I was like, something
That feels
is up.
Yeah.
Somebody's not paying their taxes.
Yeah. This feels a little under the counter.
100%. I was like, this is crazy.
It was just
Still
like
hit,
the
though.
cashier's name, probably.
No, literally. You're pocketing this.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's wild, but yeah, happy to give you my business. It still was
Interesting.
delicious.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
I mean, half the fun is the toppings. So as long as
100%.
they have some good fresh toppings, you're good.
Yes. I know. What a weird craze that was.
Yeah. No, it
was
really
everywhere.
was. That was like the cool place to go for a while too.
Totally.
And just not.
Yeah.
It really fell off. Sorry,
James
Froyo.
and his friends all worked at Dairy Queen. They worked at the DQ.
Yes, John worked at Dairy Queen for a sec.
Classic.
Yeah.
Didn't they all? It was so funny too because I would go in there and like, you know, James is working and I would be like, one, expecting free ice cream, two, at least a smile. And he literally was like working there with such bad vibes. Like I would get in there and he would just be like so pissed off and he would barely acknowledge that he knew who I was.
No way.
And you know, they have to like dump the blizzard or whatever. And he would just be like, here.
You're like, I want to see it.
Yeah, come on.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
I also remember there was like,
seriously.
oh my God. And he was like, the manager was just like hated her life or something. And he was just like, it was just bad vibes.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, it was like a dingy, like,
No, it was kind of sad
dead
there.
of summer. Ugh, not a good place to be.
Well, then later
behind
he
the
became
counter.
my freaky fast delivery driver for Jimmy John's.
No way.
That was a crazy job.
I would not have guessed that.
Mhm. He actually had one of the like Jimmy John's, like one of their giant menus in his bedroom at that lake house they all shared.
No way.
Yeah, really
Wow.
artsy.
Yep. Cute.
Mhm.
Don't notice it here.
Yeah.
So that
It
one
didn't
hit the
make
trash.
it. Yeah. Didn't make it into any of our shared apartments. But yeah, that was a job he held for, I think, like all of college.
Oh my gosh.
But he
Okay.
worked at the one on University because if you worked at the one on State Street, you are a biker. Your delivery route was via bike.
No. Okay. Well, that's a good. I mean, how freaky fast can it be on a bike?
I know. I think their radius was a lot smaller for that reason.
Okay.
Yeah, that was always so crazy. But like honestly, sometimes I would order a sandwich from the one on State Street, and it would be. I lived at the Embassy all of college, which was right. It was like right downtown.
I know. Yeah, I know where. I think my sister lived there.
I
know
she did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
Yes.
I think. Sorry.
I lived there for 3 years.
Okay.
We just kind of kept moving up. At senior
Ended
year,
up
we
in the
were
penthouse.
penthouse.
I love.
Yeah. That apartment did flood, but no worries.
The top. Wow.
Yeah, I think it was my fault. I literally think that I clogged the toilet and like it completely overflowed.
no.
And not only that, but it was winter break. So
No.
Jaden and I were like sat there watching, of course, all of the Twilight movies. Duh.
Yeah. Perfect
What else
activity
is there
for
to
winter
do?
break.
I think we like had popped a gummy and we were like watching all of these movies. And at some point I got up to go to the bathroom and I don't know if I flushed a tampon or like what I did, but I like sat back down. We watched probably a whole nother movie. I stood up to get a snack and I stood up and there was like this much water on the ground.
On your as you were
Yes.
sitting there watching, it just like filled.
Mhm. And I didn't notice until I stood up. And then like as I stood up and realized, we get a knock on our door. And it was
Oh my God.
It was people from the basketball team, so mortifying. And they knock on the door and they were like, hey, like we're in our friend's apartment. There's like water leaking down. And I was like, yeah, something's happening. And they like came in. First of all, one of them like definitely unclogged my toilet. Amazing, iconic. Love that for me.
Oh my God, love.
And then I remember like I got out like every single towel I could find and I'm like trying to like soak it all up.
That's so sad.
It was so sad. And I just like looked down the hallway and Jaden is packing a suitcase. She was like, we have to get out of here.
Bye, guys.
I know. And like nobody was really there because it was winter break.
Yeah.
So we ended up, I called maintenance. They put like two of those like huge wetbacks in our apartment.
Oh my God.
And like it just kind of had to be like that. I went home for a few days.
Did anything get like ruined or anything like that?
No, there was only like a lingering smell.
Yeah,
of just,
I was
like,
gonna ask about
moldy
that
wet.
next.
Yeah. That was pretty gross. But yeah, it was like kind of fine after that.
Okay.
But then I remember specifically being at the KK and I lost odds to go up to the basketball player who had unclogged my toilet and say something about it. I was like, remember when you unclogged my toilet? And he was like, yeah.
Yeah, I do remember your toilet water dripping down on my head.
Yeah,
in
why
our
are
apartment.
you bringing this up? Yeah, that was horrible.
Oh my gosh, that is a nightmare.
Yeah.
I hate when things...
Oh my God, same.
I'm like really not that good about fixing things
No, I
around the
don't have a
house or
clue.
anything like that. I wish I was. I feel like my mom is just like, okay, I'm just going to tighten this and do this. And like, I just am like, no, I guess it's broken forever. Like, I'm just like not that good at it. I'm good at like contacting the landlord to tell them about the issue, but I'm not very problem solving myself.
Yeah, same.
Like our dryer, I lived with Sarah Hubbard for a while.
Okay, yeah.
And our dryer broke. And I was like, should I call Mike? And she was like, let me pull up a YouTube video real quick. And she's like pulling the dryer out and like looking at a YouTube video and like has a screwdriver out. And I'm like, girl, we have a landlord. We don't have to be doing
this.
This
Is their responsibility.
And then like pretty soon after, she's like, okay, we should maybe call. I was like, yeah, I know.
Well, I will
great
say
at that.
That's because in Madison, I always lived with like a property management group.
Okay.
And so there was always like a guy on call who could pretty much come immediately.
Yes.
And now obviously like living in a for rent by owner kind of apartment.
Yeah.
It's kind of just like if they're handy, they'll come over and do it. Otherwise, maybe they'll call somebody and it'll be like 4 to 5 weeks.
Yeah. Oh no.
Yeah, it just takes forever. And I'm like, I get it. They're just two people. They're busy. Like, I don't think they're really thinking about us that often.
We have a guy named Sergio who helps us.
Okay, yes.
Like,
I need one of those.
I'll reach out to the landlord and they're like, we'll get Sergio on it. And then Sergio will text me. He only calls me Sedie. He doesn't know my name is Sadie.
Oh my God, love.
I don't know what Sadie maybe. I don't know how you say that. I recently discovered that. I was like reading back in our text. He's like, hi, Sadie. Hi, Sadie.
Oh my
Hi,
God,
Sadie.
I
I'm
love
like,
that.
hey, Sergio. But yeah, he's great. He always fixes our stuff right up.
Like we need to
but
get
I
in
feel
contact
lucky.
with him.
Yeah. No, seriously. I'm like, do you need referrals?
Straight up. Well, and I feel like it's hard too because they'll always try to come and fix it themselves first, which I understand for like a saving money.
Yeah.
But I'm also like, I don't think that you guys are plumbers, carpenters,
all of these things. Yeah. I've definitely called like our current landlords too. Like our window was being weird and they like first of all like acted like we broke it and I was like, no, it's just like not latched in correctly. Like I haven't touched this window.
Yeah.
And then second of all, like he kind of fixed it but not really. And I'm like, well, I guess if you don't really care about it being fixed, I truly don't really care about it being fixed.
This
so
is
I'm
your
not,
property.
Yeah, it's your building. So I'm not going to worry about it again.
Yeah. No, totally. Well, and it's funny too. Like I'm always like, our landlords lived in our unit.
Oh, nice.
So I'm always kind of like, so they kind of know everything that's busted.
Yeah, no, that's such a good like benefit to have.
So for the most part, that's worked out good. But but it's funny too, like even like with our backyard, I'm like, am I supposed to weed? Like, do I need to call you guys? Like there was one like the first summer here, I like spent hours back there just like pulling all these weeds. And then I was like, maybe this isn't my responsibility.
Yeah, maybe I don't need to do this at all.
Because it gets crazy back there, like to the point where it's like hard to get to the garage.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, somebody has to do something.
Yes, but do I call you? Yeah,
I know.
That's annoying.
Well, and we have like a shoveling service that like comes
nice.
that they've definitely paid for, but like I'm just like, it's so interesting. Like I've never really had like a backyard.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
So it's an adjustment, but it's been going well.
Yay.
Well, let's get into your good, bad, ugly.
Okay, yay.
And we'll start with your good.
Okay, my good was or is gonna be my good is nicknames.
Okay, love.
I love nicknames.
So do I, totally.
I think that it's super fun to give a nickname. It makes you like, I feel like it bonds you with someone. And then also
Totally.
like receiving a nickname, like there's certain names that people call me that like only those people call me that.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. I just think it's so fun to have a nickname and to give a nickname.
There is something so intimate about it. It almost feels like an inside joke.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. I wrote down some of my nicknames if you want to
I
hear
would
some
love
of them.
to.
Okay. So, and I can give you some background on them too.
Yes, please.
So, well, the first one is not okay. I don't know if it's all nicknames necessarily, but like some of my extended family call me Sadie Rose because my middle name's Rose.
Okay.
So I'm like, if I hear Sadie Rose, I like know that certain people in my like my aunt might call me that sometimes.
Sure. Okay.
But it's not like if my mom called me that, I'd be like, what are you?
yeah.
Why are you calling me that? Or my sister would be like, wait, what? So I love that it's just like this person will call me that. And then there's the classic like iterations, Sades,
Totally.
Sadie, all these normal ones. A lot of these are self-appointed nicknames too. So the Sadester.
Love.
My brother will call me
Classic.
the Sadester sometimes still. That was my Snapchat name, I want to say. Swag D. That was during my swag era.
Okay. I feel like James has used that before, maybe.
Yes, my sister will still call me Swag
Yeah.
D occasionally. This is kind of a good one. In college, I wore a JMM shirt. Shout out James Madison Memorial,
Absolutely.
formerly known as James Madison Memorial
Yes.
High School. My college friend was like, "What's gym?" And I was like, "JMM," and she's like, "Yeah, gym." And I was like, "It's my high school," and she's like, "Oh, gym." And then that evolved into me being called Jimmy,
Oh my God. Hilarious.
and then any iteration of Jimmy you can think of, like Jimster,
Sure,
Jimothy, Jimbo. Yeah, any
Yep.
of them. So like to my some of my college friends, I'm Jimmy, which is so random.
That's so funny.
But like if anyone else called me Jimmy, I'd be like, or I wouldn't even respond if someone said Jimmy and think it's me.
Totally.
But like if they say it, it's special. I have a friend who I call Cookie.
Okay. Cute.
And he calls me Cookie. And then we like kind of evolved from there. But that's a good one. I call my mom Woman, which is maybe
Wait,
disrespectful.
hilarious.
But she calls me Woman too.
That's so good.
So we're like woman to each other. So I'm like, hey, woman, when I answer the phone.
That's
She's like,
so
hey,
funny.
woman. Crazy Sadie, classic.
Totally.
Sometimes I'll get called that in person, which is a little alarming, but it's me.
Right. What are you going to do about it?
And then my college best friend's name is Katie,
Okay.
and her real name is Catherine. So then we became Catherine and Sathryn.
Okay. Classic.
So there's just like all of these identities make up me, which I
Mhm.
love.
Totally. No, nicknames are so fun for that reason. And I feel like they always do come from like, I love the ones that morph when it is something like Jim.
Yes.
And it just completely gets turned into like a crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just knowing like that's JMM.
Yeah,
First of all.
totally.
And I'm like literally referred to as Jimmy by some of my friends because of that. I'm like,
That's
that's
so
so
funny.
random.
Well, because I used to go by Samantha, like pretty
Yes.
much.
I feel like that's what I call you.
Yeah. And like James says Samantha exclusively. So I'm sure
Yes.
John says Samantha.
Yes,
And like,
exactly. And I'm like, that's like a fun, like when I hear people call you Sam, I'm like, when'd you meet her?
I know, totally.
Like it just is such a fun indicator.
Yeah, well, and it's funny too because honestly, like my girlfriends in high school started calling me Sam almost as a joke. Like I just so wasn't a Sam to them that
Yeah.
like calling me Sam was funny.
Yeah.
But then I think they said it enough that they kind of just started to use it pretty frequently, and I started to introduce myself as Sam when I met new people.
Yeah.
And then now, like, it's funny, all of my like Chicago friends and people I've met later in life are like, it's so odd to hear James call you Samantha. Like, I don't think of you as that at all.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's just funny. And like,
yeah.
I would say my mom probably usually calls me Samantha. Like, she'll refer to me as my full name.
yeah.
But like nicknames my parents have given me, it was like Sammer Jammer was a big one for a while.
Yeah.
And my dad, and this used to be my Instagram handle for forever because my friends also took off with this one. When my dad wanted me to hear him and know that it was him during a cross country race,
Uh-huh.
he would call me Spanky.
Oh.
And it was specifically after.
Wait, that's so funny.
I think there's a Spanky in the movie. What is that baseball movie with like alfalfa and whatever. God, why
I know
can't
what
think
you're
of it?
talking about.
Yeah.
What is it? The Goonies?
Maybe.
No, I don't think it is.
That's
That's definitely not right.
Sandlot, but I don't think it's
No,
Sandlot.
I think it.
I can't remember.
I don't know.
Well, there's a Spanky in one of those movies, and that's like where he got that from.
Okay.
And then like all my friends would start making me like Spanky signs and like whatever.
Okay. Yeah.
Somehow that morphed into Spanky G for a while.
Yeah.
Like that was my Instagram handle for a really long time.
I love.
Well, and it is funny. I feel like people associate your Instagram handle with you too. Like I feel like,
Don't say that.
yeah, totally. Because I also feel like because my Instagram handle is Sam Georgeson, it's just boring now. But I feel like people are like, oh, that's Sam, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
So much more. Like I have a friend, for example, whose Instagram handle is Pizza Fucker. Shout out to Luke. And like some people are like, oh, Pizza Fucker. Like when I like bring up who I'm hanging out with. Yeah. You know, it's just so funny.
Yeah.
It's like, that is so crazy to go by that.
But it's like a part of their identity at this
100%. Yeah.
I love it.
It's so crazy like that.
Yeah.
Well, and it's funny too, like James and I never say each other's name. Like I couldn't remember the last time that I've said James to him.
Okay.
Like I wouldn't ever do that in the house. Like I would be like, James, where are you? Or like whatever.
Yeah.
And like my mom used to always call him my smooch.
Okay.
So like for a while we were running with that, but it has just kind of like morphed into all of these like random things. Like at this point we don't even really, it's not even like a pet name or something cutesy. Like I'll just be like doo-doo, like whatever, like just like random things that I can think of, and they've morphed so much.
But like when you say it, you think like you 100%. Know that you're thinking James, which is so funny too, because like if someone heard that around you, they'd be like, what is she saying right 100%. Now? But you're like, no, I'm directly talking to this person. Like it makes so much sense to me.
Yeah, or like there's times where I'll call him like special. Like I'll just be like, "You're my special," and like, or he'll like be like somewhere in the room, and I'll be like, "Special," and it's just so funny because those are so stupid. Like I would never want anyone around me to like actually hear me saying that to his face.
No, for sure.
But that's why nicknames are hilarious. Like I really think they are so fun.
Yeah.
And I always really wanted one. Like when I was younger and my parents were calling me Samantha, like I was like, oh, that's boring.
Yes. And I think that's also why I created so many of these for myself, because a lot of them are self-appointed.
Totally.
Because Sadie, it's not like a super nicknameable name. Like it's not like you shorten that to anything, and it's not short for anything. So I really had an open book for like what I could do.
So true.
And I really ran with it.
I love that. Which is your favorite one?
Oh, I don't know if I have a favorite. I feel like Sade's is just like classic.
Yeah.
If someone's like calling for me or something. But each one is like so individual to each person. Totally. I do think it's the funniest one to me is like the fact that I call my mom woman.
Oh, that's fucking awesome. I love it.
Which it's like so normal to us, but in public, I'll answer, "Hey, woman, what's up?" And I'm like, that's just like so weird.
People around you are probably like, what?
I know. It sounds like so rude, I think, in a way.
No, that's why it's so good, though.
I know.
Well, I even know, like, me and my friend Adam, and honestly, like, I think him and Lauren started doing this first, but they would, like, call each other buddy.
Okay.
Almost as, because, like, buddy can be, like, a little bit condescending. Buddy's just, like, funny.
Yeah.
But then we all kind of started using it. So like like when I'd get on the phone with him, I'd be like, "Hi, buddy."
Yeah. In college, me and my friends would call each other sis. We're like, "Hey, sis." Yes. Sis. Like that was just like a year of our life where we were just sis to each other.
100%.
And it was so fun. Now when I hear sis, I'm like, oh, well, I think of my sis, and then I think sis.
Yeah, it's good memory.
Yeah, exactly. I love it.
No, that's such a good one. Okay, let's do your bad.
Okay. I love. My woman actually just called me. Sorry, Mom. I'll call you back later.
We're in the studio.
I know. She loved that. Okay, so my bad is a growth mindset bad. I keep a growth mindset always. I'm not actually a very pessimistic person, I have to admit.
That doesn't surprise me.
So if you can believe it or not. But my bad is biking in the city. And I know we've discussed this since we've been chatting. Mm-hmm. But it's just so scary to me. It's not a fun experience to do, but I think with practice, which is what my goal is this summer, folks.
Totally.
I'm going to practice and get better at it. Yeah. But right now it's definitely a bad. Like I do not enjoy doing it, but I want to get past that and force it into a good.
No, I love that. And I feel the exact same. I'm very scared of it. I didn't even really bike around Madison. Like I biking for me was always a leisure activity.
Exactly. I mean, like it's still, that's the other thing. It still is for me. Look at me. I biked here and this. Yeah. Like, I'm not out here for like speed. Totally. I'm not out here for exercise. I mean, it's great. That's a bonus, whatever. But I'm like, doing it to get from point A to point B. Yeah. I'm wearing my helmet.
Of course.
Like I'm not messing around with this. leave me alone, cars.
Yeah.
Like, just recognize the person on the bike
Yeah.
and be a little careful around her.
Well, and it's just the city is not mapped out for bikers at all.
No. My sister she wanted me to mention that she gave me a motivational speech.
Oh, I love.
Before I started biking around, and she was like, blame the infrastructure of the city. Like,
yeah.
Cars might get mad at you, but that's because there's no bike lane.
Yeah,
and
it's
that's
not your fault.
Chicago's fault. And I was like, girl, I love that.
No, that's so true, because it is so scary, and I feel like it does. Like, even like, I'm so scared of being like, the car door. Like,
yes.
It's all
head on a swivel the whole time. I'm like, this is kind of exhausting, but like, I'm going to get the hang of it.
Yeah. No, I think that's good. And honestly, like, I have so many friends who are very passionate about biking in the city.
Yes.
You can get around so much faster.
That. I know.
So it is definitely like worth it. But
it's nice to have like the transportation, like not having a car too. Like, it's nice to have transportation that you can do on your own time as well.
You're in control of it.
Yeah. So that's why I'm like, I really want to get good at it. But right now, it definitely is a bad.
Well, I was listening to, not really by my choice, I was in an Uber on the way home from the airport from a work trip. And he was listening to like Jay Shetty motivational whatever.
I love that.
Wow. And so, I'm, privy to this. And he actually said something that applies perfectly to this situation.
Okay. Jay Shetty did?
Yes.
Wow.
He said something along the lines of like fear just comes from an insecurity.
Okay.
And like, if there is something that like is making you insecure, like you're going to be stressed about it.
Okay.
But like the more that you do something, it's like essentially exposure therapy.
Yeah.
Like you can turn something that feels like an insecurity that stresses you out into a strength.
Yes.
And
that's what I'm working towards.
So true.
Yeah.
You said it, Jay.
Seriously. Wellness motivational speaker.
Literally, which I'm kind of like, okay, not necessarily an original thought, but put concisely.
Yes,
so.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. But no, I agree. It's something, I don't even have a bike here, and I do want to buy one.
Do you ever divvy?
I haven't
scare me.
Yeah, kind
also,
of same.
I've divvied a couple times. My bike or my phone has like flown out of it before, and I like have to like
no.
turn around and pick it up.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, I don't know where I'm. That was early on when I moved here too, because now I feel like I kind of know my way around.
Yeah.
But I was like, I needed the maps out, so my phone was flying. So
then you
I'm
have
just
to find the next divvy parking spot.
Yes, that's the other thing. I get like stressed out because I'm like, where do
Yeah.
I put this thing now that I arrived at my destination? Like,
Right.
I'm not really even here.
Yeah.
So I'm not a huge fan of those. They
Yeah.
also, I feel like, are too powerful sometimes.
Yeah,
Like,
totally.
the electric ones, people are like zipping around. I'm like, okay, no, drivers hate bikers. Bikers hate drivers. But like, I at least know my place.
And everyone hates divvies.
Yes, exactly.
Literally. Well, and
Exactly.
I have seen, I don't know if this applies necessarily to Chicago. I can't speak for the naked bike ride in this city, but in Madison, Wisconsin, I
yes.
have seen people participate in the naked bike ride on rentable B-cycles. I'm like, that is not okay. That is not okay.
That feels like bad as the bike, like the person who's renting it out. Like,
Right, that's bad for everybody involved. First of all,
Yeah.
I don't want my bits to be all over a rentable bicycle.
that should be like a prerequisite for this whole event. Is like you
100%.
have to own your own bike to be able to
I
participate. That's
really feel
like rule number
the
one.
city should pick them all up that day and be like, no.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? It's crazy.
Wait, that's so crazy. That
Yeah.
people are like passionate enough about biking naked.
There is
and
a
renting
huge
a bike.
community who participates in that event every year.
Yeah, I've always been kind of intrigued, but
Yeah.
I don't like.
And
I
some
don't really
people
get
don't
it, I
go
guess.
full nude,
Yeah,
But
it
some
just
people
feels like
definitely do.
uncomfortable, I guess.
For sure.
Like, I don't really know.
No matter what parts you have,
is.
like I'm like either you're swallowing up the bike seat or you are like literally dangling off the side. Like I just don't.
Not
No.
good. Yeah.
No.
No, I'm not there yet.
No.
Maybe after practicing more. Is that like everywhere or is that just a...
I do
I
know
don't
they
think it's
have one
just-
here.
They do? Okay. I figured it was
Mhm.
probably like in a lot of big cities, but I really only have seen the Madison one, I guess.
Well, Madison is such a pro nude community. Like I just feel like Madison is just perfectly hippy dippy enough where they are like naked bike ride, everybody's participating.
Yes. All are welcome.
Yeah.
Even those who don't own a bike.
Right. Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely insane. But no, I believe in your journey.
Oh, thank you.
I think it's gonna happen for you.
I think so too.
And you're inspiring me. Like I honestly, it's been on my list, and
Yeah.
I do want to get a bike anyway because I do sometimes also just love to go for a bike ride for the purpose of biking alone.
Just getting out. Yeah, for sure.
It's so such a good form of exercise, and it's just like pretty fun.
Yeah, exactly. And like quick, it's so flat here too.
Yeah,
like it makes
so
it
true.
pretty easy. The wind, I haven't gone out really when it's windy.
Yeah.
But the flatness makes it so
That's
easy.
like level 2
Yeah.
wind.
Exactly. I'm on level 1 right now in my biking journey. I say this like I also haven't been riding a bike since I was like 4, but
totally.
it's so different like riding on the streets for like transportation versus like around the circle in the neighborhood.
100%. I know. Well, and like in Madison, I really only ever use my bike to like do the lake loop. Like that was it.
Yeah, exactly. Or like get to the pool in the summer or something. Like I wasn't really biking for a vehicle.
Yeah, right. I do feel like too, having a bike when you live on the west side would probably make it a lot easier to get to the lake more frequently.
I know.
Which would be nice.
I know. I'm like pretty familiar with the streets over here, so I've been practicing, but I need to get over there.
Yeah.
I feel like the streets are smaller, like there's less bike lanes or something.
Yeah.
On the east side. So that's maybe level 1.5.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Totally. Okay, how about your ugly? I'm dying to hear this one.
I know. Okay, so my ugly is, let's see if I can say this correctly, the social construct of breakfast.
Okay.
I think that there's a lot of social constructs out there that need to be fixed.
Totally.
But I don't hear enough people talking about breakfast. And
let's get into it.
And I am a girl who does not like eggs, as I've disclosed to you earlier today. I do not like eggs. And when you go out to breakfast in the morning,
it's all egg based.
It's all egg based. I like a savory breakfast. So what am I stuck with? Sausage and bacon for breakfast? Like what?
Right. And that's not enough.
It's such a social construct that restaurants only serve eggs in the morning.
That's so true.
And then people on the flip side are like, well, then we can have eggs at night then too. I'm like, yeah, I don't care when you eat
your eggs.
When you eat your eggs, like what time of day.
Yeah.
Where in your, like, I don't know. It doesn't matter to me. But I'm like, why can't you just serve me pizza in the morning? Because that's kind of what I want when I'm going out to breakfast. Because I don't.
Pizza.
Yeah.
Although too bad I feel like a breakfast
pizza
pizza has eggs. Yeah.
I know.
So true.
And like, I don't know. I just think it's so annoying.
No, that's so fair.
And people don't think about it.
I'm trying to even think, like, if I can think of a single thing that's savory that you can have.
Okay, here's the thing. You could do avocado toast.
Okay.
Which I like avocado toast. But avocado toast is like $14.
I know. What the hell?
And then they often add like $5 for an egg on top. And I'm like, this feels dumb to get out.
Yeah.
Out to eat. I eat whatever I want at home,
yeah,
which is great. But it's like out in the world, out in society, the social construct that we are stuck in with this breakfast meal.
They're not appealing to the non-egg eating folks.
I know. Or like we could just expand it maybe. Yeah. But again, we haven't done that yet. So it just really it's a hard life to live without liking eggs.
We eat a lot of eggs in this household. I honestly didn't grow up eating a ton of eggs. Like maybe like once a month, my parents would like make a scramble.
Yeah.
But I was very much like a cereal, Eggos, Pop-Tarts family for breakfast.
Yes, totally.
Which was always sweet, leaning. And I feel like when I was younger, I would get sweet food when I went out to breakfast. Like I would get like a buttermilk stack of pancakes.
I totally would too. So I was like doing fine then. But now that I like have morphed, I kind of lost my sweet tooth. I used to have such a sweet tooth when I was little.
Yeah.
But I've definitely morphed more into like a hot Cheeto tooth.
See, I like need a little something sweet after almost every meal, but like I never want it to be the focus of my meal.
Yeah, same. So that's why, again, for the not liking eggs, people are like, there's options, just get pancakes. And I'm like, but I don't really want, that's like a full dessert for me.
Totally.
Like I don't really need like 4 pancakes.
And it's also not a particularly like it fills you up, but it's not going to last all day.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Because James eats tons of eggs, and his family, I think, grew up eating a bunch of eggs.
Yeah.
His dad eats like 12 eggs a day or something insane.
Oh my God.
Like I think he's over his daily limit of eggs. Like it's nuts.
All cooked the same way, all for breakfast, multiple times a day. See, he's breaking the construct himself.
Totally. He'll have like eggs for breakfast. He'll bring like hard-boiled eggs for lunch.
Okay.
Like I feel like it's like it's protein heavy vibes.
That is very protein heavy.
And so like when I moved in with James, he was just very egg oriented. James like James was like constantly making breakfast burritos.
Okay.
And that kind of thing. I'm not a breakfast burrito girl per se, but like I'll have mine outside of the burrito as a scramble.
But like, okay, so I don't mind a breakfast burrito if it's like tofu scramble. How many places offer that though? None.
So true.
And then I'm like, okay, well, I can just have a regular burrito for breakfast then at this rate.
Yeah.
But people they don't serve that to you. They wait until it's noon.
Totally.
I'm like, why are you waiting? I just want this now. So diners are a really tough place for me.
Would you ever be like a chicken and waffles kind of situation?
I'll do that occasionally, but like sometimes that's kind of like a heavy meal. I feel like a lot of the options are like kind of heavy too.
Breakfast leans heavy. Like I feel like breakfast is a meal where if you eat it out, your day is ruined. You need to go home and take a nap.
Yeah, that's fair. But I feel like there's so much room to work through this. And like, again, it's like so cultural too. Like not everyone is eating eggs and pancakes in the morning. It's like so US based.
Yeah.
So
no, that was actually a huge culture shock. The first time that James and I went to Europe, I was like, wait, I can't just get breakfast. It was like we were in London, so it was like beans on toast. And I was like, what the actual fuck?
See, I'm kind of into that.
I was really like, you people are messed up.
Yeah.
But now I get it.
Yes, it's like all fake. But then people are like, that's crazy. But it's on my Hinge. I'm on Hinge. But it's one of my
Hinge.
It's one of my Hinge profiles. It's like something about breakfast being a social construct. And everyone's like, yeah, I should be able to eat eggs for dinner. And I'm like, I love the spirit, but that's not really what I'm going for here. You're actually taking it the opposite direction.
Yeah.
But I love the conversation. I love the conversation. Let's keep it going.
No, totally. Well, that's interesting because me being like, eating breakfast out is so luxurious. And I stand by that. I still think that's very true. I think for me, breakfast is one of those meals, and I can't even really say this anymore because James does make me an elaborate breakfast almost every single day. So I have definitely leaps and bounds different from like...
He makes you that every day?
Essentially, yeah.
Oh my God. That's awesome.
Yeah,
shout out to James.
It rocks in this house. And I literally am like, yeah, this is my favorite restaurant.
No wonder you're becoming more eccentric.
Yeah, truly. But I used to feel like breakfast was just like a meal where when you eat it out, it's never the stuff you make yourself at home.
Yes. Yeah.
Which I try to emulate that whenever I go out to eat. Like I want to get something I'm not going to make myself. But that is why sometimes like an avocado toast is a little bit boring.
Yes, for sure.
I do make that at home.
For like...
half the cost.
Oh my God. Like not a piece of toast and like a quarter of an avocado.
Right.
Oh, come on. Like
totally.
But sometimes when they have like some of the right add-ons and stuff, like I can
justify
it. But for the most part, I'm like, we need a little bit more variety in this space.
Totally.
I really do.
We need some innovation in the breakfast category.
I think so. I mean, that's the hill I will die on. Yeah. I really think so.
Okay, I love that. No, and I agree with you. Even though I like eggs, I think that it is like there are a million different dinners out there in the world.
Yes. It's just like when you sit back and really think about it, it is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
That like you show up to a restaurant and they're like, you can only have eggs and toast right now. And then in 2 hours, you can have like 6 different options for an entree.
Seriously.
I'm like, okay, cool.
And it is like, no matter where you go out to eat for breakfast, it does feel very Americanized.
Yes.
But then like, so, I could go to a million different restaurants around here and have like all types of cuisine.
Oh, for sure.
But yeah, breakfast doesn't crack that code.
No, it has not.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of an ugly situation that not enough people are talking about, but I don't think anyone else is really thinking about it.
Yeah, and they should start.
So I want to bring this conversation to the forefront.
Absolutely. No, I love it. Okay, well, my last question for you.
Yes.
And I think I already know your answer.
Oh, gosh.
Is your hater mode activated today?
No.
I knew it.
No, because this is so fun. How
Okay,
could I be hating on this?
It's true. Well, and sometimes I feel like when I get somebody riled up about, say, a topic like breakfast, maybe it is. But I think you're not a hater.
It makes me excited to spread the good word. Like, let's get the conversation rolling.
Right. Tell your friends.
But I'm not mad.
Somebody do something about this.
Yes, especially because people accommodate and don't make eggs sometimes when you ask them not to.
Absolutely. Oh no, it'd be great. Well, and then James was like, should we make her French toast?
Yeah.
That has eggs in it.
French toast would be fine.
Okay.
But it's not my number one. Pancakes are better. I think.
Same.
Yeah. Wait, am I supposed to ask you? Can I ask you? Is your hater mode activated today?
I would say honestly, no. Something about just like the sun shining on this beautiful Sunday.
I know.
I think it's too hard. It's not the right mood to be a hater.
I think so too.
We're having a blast.
I know. I'm like, can't believe this happened.
I know. No, like your family, I can't wait for them to listen.
For the listeners,
I want the
this
feedback.
has been a long time coming.
It has.
Every time I've seen Samantha for the past like year, or not year, like 5 years since you started, I'm like, love the podcast. podcast.
No, I love
you
it.
should come on. Okay. It finally happened.
No, I'm so glad. And
Yeah.
this is honestly a blast. You can come back on whatever you want.
Yay. Thank you.
Absolutely.
It was so fun.
And it was so fun just to have some hang time.
Yeah, definitely. I love
like-
being here. Your place is so cute.
Thank you. I'm biased, but I love being here as well.
It's a good space.
Always good. Well, thank you for joining me.
Yes.
And thank you guys for listening. And we'll be back again next week. Bye.